Hello, and welcome to Pacific Solar Power Video Network. Today we're going to be discussing designing a system, sizing a system, and calculating how many panels we're going to need to power our system. So, in order to do this, we're going to need some information. First way is calculating from scratch, really, is we have a refrigerator, we have a microwave, we have X amount of lights, we have power tools, we have a washer and dryer, we have other appliances. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out how many kilowatt hours each appliance is going to use daily, monthly, and weekly. Once we figure it all out, we can either use the weekly number and multiply by 52, or we could use our monthly number and multiply by 12. Depends on what your habits are. If you wash clothes every day, once a week, what have you. So we're going to figure out how many kilowatt hours we're consuming annually. The next method is relatively pretty simple, and it's for existing customers where you have a past record of preferably 12 months. If you only have a record of 1 month, then it's relatively pretty easy, but it's not going to be as accurate. 1 month, you'll multiply by 12 and you'll get a general ballpark of how many kilowatt hours you're using annually. If we have a 12-month history, normally I like to use that because they're very, very accurate. So what we'll do is we'll take a utility bill, and on the utility bill, on the first page at the top of the page is the account number. So on a sheet of paper, we're going to write down what our account number is. On page 3 of our bill, it's going to give us, under electrical services, the fourth line item is the meter number. So we're going to write down the meter number. The meter number is an 05 blank 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 or an 06 number blank blank blank. So we're going to put in the meter number on that sheet of paper, and then we're going to also need the billing zip code. The billing zip code is on the top of page 1 under the address bar, the zip code where they sent the bill to. Okay, so we're going to write down the zip code. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to access the web. So when we get on our computer, under the address bar, we're going to type www.energywave.sdgne.com. When we click enter, it will give us access to Energy Wave at San Diego Gas and Electric. It's going to give us two options. If we've already registered, we can sign on. If we haven't registered, we're going to click on register. So when you click on register, it's going to ask you for the account number that we wrote down. So on your sheet of paper, you'll type in the account number. The next field is the meter number, and you're going to type in that 05 or 06 number. Then you're going to move to the next field down, which is the billing zip code. When we wrote that down, we're going to enter the billing zip code, and then it's going to ask us for our email address. We're going to type in our email address, and underneath that is a little button, submit. So we're going to click on the submit button. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up another window on our browser. So we'll click on our open up a new window on our browser, and we'll access our email account. When we open up our email account, click on the inbox. The top of the inbox should be a letter from SDG&E. We'll open that letter up, and it will have your account number, and they'll assign you a temporary password. So on that same sheet of paper, you're going to write down the temporary password. Underneath the temporary password is a link back to Energy Wave. So we're going to click on that link, and it's going to send us back to Energy Wave. The user ID is going to be automatically populated with your account number. And then the next field is the password, and you're going to enter in the temporary password. When you click on that, you'll see the billing name, you'll see the billing address, and you'll see two line items. One is for gas and one is for electric. If you don't have if you don't have gas, you only see one line item. If you want to distinguish between the two line items, the number to the left, the 05 or 06 number, is the line item that you want to click on because that's the electric. So that should match the meter number that we entered in earlier. So we're going to click on that line item, and then it's going to have a pull down window. We're going to click on the pull down window. What we want is itemized charges. So when we click on itemized charges, the next window that pops up is going to be a bar chart with 16 bars. Under each bar is going to be a month and the date. And underneath the month and the date are going to be kilowatt hours, charges for your electrical, including taxes. What we want to do is, on a sheet of paper, we're going to write down the previous 12 months. The next column, we're going to put next to the month the kilowatt hours that were consumed during that month. And then next to that column, we're going to have the total charges including taxes. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to total up those two columns, the kilowatt hours and the total charges plus taxes. The total charges plus taxes is really for my edification, so I know how much money I spent annually, so I can calculate the payback on my solar system. So let's just say that the annual kilowatt hours consumed is 14,430 kilowatts. What we're going to do is we're going to divide that 14,436 by either 5.5 or 6.0, which is the average hours of usable sunlight in San Diego. 5.5 is coastal, anything west of the 5, and 6 hours of average hours of usable sunlight is inland, and that's the number that we'll use anything east of the 5. So if we divide 14,430 kilowatt hours by 5.5, let's just say our subject property is coastal, that's going to give us a number of 2623.636. Then what we need to do is we need to divide that number by 365. What we want to do is we want to figure out daily how much energy we need to produce. So when we divide that number by 365, that's going to give us a number of 7.18. Now that 7.18 is used by figuring out AC. But what we're doing is the power that we're producing is DC. So we need to convert that 7.18 to DC numbers, so we're going to multiply that by 1.2. And that's going to give us a number of 8.625. That 8.625 is our number. So the next step is to decide what size panels we're going to use. Now we have several choices. Panels for residential to small commercial applications generally are 265 watt panels to 400 watt panels. Let's just say we're going to use 315 watt Solar World panels. Very good panel. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply 315 watts by 0.001, and that's going to give us a number of 0.315. If we had 265 watt panels, that would be 0.265. If we had 400 watt panels, that would be 0.400. So when we divide 8.625 by 0.315, it's going to give us 27.38. That's how many panels we're going to need to produce 14,430 kilowatt hours of energy. Well, we don't have 0.38 panels, so what we're going to do is we're going to round up. We're going to need 28 panels. Generally, when I use a string inverter, I like to have even number of channels. So for example, if I went to 28 panels, on channel 1 I would have 14 panels, on channel 2 I would have 14 panels. If we went with a microinverter, I still like to round up, and I like to round up to even numbers. I like everything to be balanced, and I like the panels to be balanced on the roof, where I have even number of panels in each array so it looks good from the street or from the backyard. So if you have any questions, feel free to call us anytime at 858-880-6666 or see us on the web at www.pacificsolarpower.net. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Whew, that was hard.